Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Billion Dollar Movie Club. This is where we look at movies, they made money, and we question the financial decisions that we as a society have done, like one may do if they were to open a theme park with dinosaurs in them. This
Yeah,
week, it is me, Christian Pawan, with my co-host as always.
Pawan Mehta.
How you doing today, Pawan?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right? You doing okay?
It's, there's things going on that I'm a bit salty about, but we'll move past it.
I will say I apologize for asking how are you. I'm trying to not ask people that nowadays.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna go into the whole Golden Globes of it all, but that's fine.
That's fine. They make dumbass decisions. Juan, what movie are we discussing this week?
Let me read your screen real quick. It says Jurassic Park.
I didn't like how you emphasized the word Jew
Well, it's a Jew, Jurassic.
or Jurassic.
Oh,
Emphasize the ass.
now you're bringing up jurors. That's not a good
I
look
know
either.
you're a big fan of the film Rural Juror. Great song.
Wait, film or song?
There's a song she sings for it. The show 30 Rock ends with her singing Rural Juror.
Oh, right. That
from the movie
I
within the
remember
show.
that. Yes.
But yeah, this week we're tackling Steven Spielberg's 1993 classic. I think we can say classic by now.
Yeah. Probably.
The original Jurassic Park, released on June 11th, 1993, with a budget of $63 million.
That's big.
But in
That's
comparison,
like dinosaur big.
in comparison, very small. The film opened domestically with a total of $47 million. At the time, the largest opening weekend ever. It would hold number one for 3 weekends. It ended its run with $357 million domestically and a worldwide total of $912 million.
Okay.
At the time, it was the second biggest film domestically, behind E.T., the Spielberg film, and the highest grossing film worldwide. Now, hold on. You may have noticed I said worldwide it grossed $912 million.
Wait, you said it grossed 912 million. That's not a billion, but also, this movie came out in like 1993. I thought we were in the 2010s.
Juan, for you are a stupid child. The year is 2021. We are not in the 2010s anymore. And this film was re-released in 3 dimensions. I read that Spielberg was inspired by the re-release of Titanic and decided, hey, let me do that too.
Let me get some money.
And so in 2013, I forgot to write the date, but in the year of 2013, there was a 3D re-release of Jurassic Park, which opened the US to a total of $18.6 million. That's its opening weekend. Now, from Todd Cunningham at The Wrap, August 21st, 2013, Jurassic Park passes $1 billion at box office with 3D asterisk. 20 years later, Jurassic Park has joined the $1 billion club thanks to a 3D re-release that has brought in more than 65 million globally since Universal rolled it out on April 5th. Oh, so April 5th is when it was released. Also helping, the Steven Spielberg dinosaur film opened number 1 in China with a 6.3 million first day Tuesday. At the time of this writing, the 3D version has taken in 20 million internationally. Since then, there's no, go on. Were you gonna make a little comment?
I was just gonna say, China movie theaters do love their 3D movies.
They do. They love their Terminators. The Terminator movies do well in. Do those come out in 3D?
I think the later ones did.
Did Genesis?
Yeah, I think Genesis and Dark Fate came out in 3D.
Did Warcraft come out in 3D?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And those were big in China. Now, the 20-year anniversary re-release was a thing. There was also a small 25th year anniversary re-release, as well as popping up a bit this year. this most recent year, or sorry, last year, 2020, when during the COVIDs, movie theaters, drive-ins were playing Jurassic Park, and there was a weekend where it was #1 at the box office, 27 years later, because there are no movies. And so it currently sits at 404 million domestically, a worldwide total of $1.033 billion. It is the 37th highest grossing domestic film and 40th worldwide.
Those sure are numbers.
Juan, what happens in this movie?
So my man and his girlfriend are like digging up dinosaur bones, and then it's like the kid's like, it looks like a big chicken, and then he's like, it's not a chicken, it will kill you real quick. And then the big money dude comes down in the helicopter, ruining their sight. He's like, I need you to check out my park. And then they check out his park, and then like dinosaurs are there, actual dinosaurs, and they're loose, and they get them, and they escape.
So you just saved everyone 2 hours of watching a movie.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
I'm a saint.
I've never seen this movie before. Have you?
No, but watching it through this time, I felt like I knew all the beats.
I don't think that's a detriment to the film, though.
It isn't, but it's like one of those things where it's like it's either cultural osmosis or just I used to watch Nostalgia Critic, and like he really did use too many clips from the movies to the point where he really did not use fair use. Well,
I was gonna say there was a time where every YouTuber used references from Jurassic Park, but that hasn't ended. I feel like they still do that.
yeah,
Like I always wondered, well, how do we get sweaty, open shirt Jeff Goldblum in the movie? I've seen the movie, still doesn't make full sense, but I guess it made sense. I was dazzled by this film. I was grabbed by it. It was intense. I screamed in fear.
I'll be honest, I was surprised at how small the scale was.
Yes. Yes. I think that's partially a reflection of the times, an earlier film. But I think, you ever watch Jaws?
Yeah.
It's that same thing of the fear is focused on this one thing for the most part.
I mean, to be fair, I actually do feel like Jaws was a bit broader than this in terms of its focus and its scale.
How so?
Maybe not in its entirety, because Jaws, they do leave the beach at some point, but like there is that part where it's literally affecting the entire town.
Okay, that's fair. So you mean the how few individuals are part of this situation?
Yeah, and like how few locations there are and all that.
Yeah.
Like they do establish that it's on an island, but really it feels like it's just a small forest.
Yeah. I will say, having seen trailers for the Worlds, Jurassic Worlds, it's like, whoa, this something's missing. There's a huge, too big of a leap, and they wondered if they could do that, but not whether if they should do it. You know what I'm saying? Should they have made such a large leap and had those weird like orbs that they're in? They're like orbs later on, right?
I haven't seen the movies.
We're gonna have to, sadly. But yeah, it's. I don't know about you. I always have hesitation going into the classics of, it's gonna be too hyped up, and then I'm gonna hate it. This is an exciting, thrilling film.
For me, it was a little too hyped up.
As a whole, or
in the sense where, like, even though I hadn't seen it before, I felt like I have.
Is that a bad thing?
To the point where, like, there was nothing wowed me.
All right, that's fair.
Like, I didn't feel the spectacle of it as much.
Interesting. I do think. Well, I have a question for you from your synopsis.
Sure,
Did
sure,
you
sure.
also forget everyone's name?
Yeah.
I pulled it up and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard people mention Alan and Ian, but I don't know any of your names after this movie. Who are you people?
Listen, money mans,
The businessman.
scientists, couples,
I'm
Jeff
confused.
Goldblum.
Is Goldblum a mathematician?
Yes.
Okay.
Chaos theory, man.
I think Chaos Theory is from Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Shadow the
No,
Hedgehog.
no, no, no. It's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
I know that, but as a child, I was dumb and called it Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
You know what? Let's just go on a brief tangent about dumb things children called video games. When I was at daycare, there was this kid who was upset that he wasn't allowed to play, that his turn wasn't coming up in Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. So, like, he went to one of the teachers, a little upset, saying they won't let me play Dragon Ball Z Budokai 10 times each.
I see how that sounds ridiculous. It's just a really weird name in the first place.
Listen, just because it's Japanese doesn't mean it's weird, okay?
I never said that. I never said that. There's many words in it. All right. I take that back because I love long titles like Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Precious based off the novel Push by Sapphire.
I mean, without the parentheses based on the novel Push by Sapphire, what is that movie title?
I don't think it's a parenthesis. I think it's Precious colon based on the novel Push by Sapphire.
Wait, really?
I'm 98%.
Now I gotta look this up.
I believe the actual story is that it was going to be called just Precious, but then there were like some copyright problems with that, so they called it Precious based off the novel Push by Sapphire.
Yep. It is a colon.
It's a colon.
Damn. So back to the dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
They look pretty cool. They look pretty cool.
I found with the was it Bronchiosaurus, the long necks,
The long boys.
I found especially the first time they were revealed, the CG didn't hold up too well.
Well, like you could tell they're in the background, and like
Yeah.
the distinction between back and foreground was very palpable.
And the moment when Laura Dern and who's the actor? Sam Neill, I think, first walk up to one when they first get on the island. But when you see them up close, like the Velociraptors and the T-Rex, like those hold up. I think
because I think those were more machine rather than CG.
More of those practical effects, if you will. I think the eyes looked a little weird.
Yeah, they looked too marbly.
But they were very scary.
Though, you remember that opening scene? Like the opening thing where like they were trying to contain the thing. Those sets looked really it looked too pristine, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it looked plasticky.
I wanted to ask you this in regards to that sort of thing. I find when I go back to movies from the 80s or 90s, there's a sense of, I don't want to say cheese, but it doesn't feel very grounded in our reality. You look at something like the Avengers, they're trying to ground it in the reality we're currently in. And so this kind of otherworldly, not ridiculousness, but otherworldly extreme kind of stand out to me when I watch it. Is that ever a thing for you?
I haven't seen enough movies from the 80s and 90s to make that call.
That's fair. But I rewatched I watched for the first time the Indiana Jones movies recently. I'm like, oh, there's a sense of, I guess, pulp maybe is the word I'm looking for.
Yes, that definitely shone through with this movie also.
And it's not a bad thing. but it threw me off for a sec because I was not expecting it.
In fact, like one of the plot points of the movie that was interesting to me in regards to its pulpiness is how they like set up the Barbasol can but never resolved it to leave it for later stories.
Yes, that as well as they figure out how to mate. Which is, I was waiting for him to tell the doctor or whoever, Richard Attenborough, who played John Hammond. I was waiting for them for Sam Neill's Alan Grant to be like, "Hey, they know how to mate now." That never happened.
Looks like your female's a male, bruh.
Is the bruh in regards to the person receiving that statement or
Yes.
the male? It's a male bruh.
He's telling that to the person he's talking to. He's calling them bruh.
I see.
Because he totally pulled a bro moment by assuming that they were all female.
I see. You're right. You're right. You're right.
One line that stuck out to me was when our main protagonist said, "I hate computers."
Wait, he says that? When does he say that?
Like early in the film before Moneybags comes in.
Oh, that's really early. I do think. Well, in regards, we brought up the very opening scene.
Mm-hmm.
Was that necessary to have?
Again, it seemed like it was a tone setter to be like, I know we're going rather slow for the beginning of this movie, but don't worry, it's coming.
Interesting. Because I have noticed with like this Indiana Jones, Jaws, they'll have that exciting first scene and like 20 or 30-minute stretches of exposition and building, which isn't bad by any regards. But it is fascinating that the social consciousness has forgotten how meticulously slow those movies are at first in setting everything up.
Right.
Because it also throws you off when you're like, where's the action? Again, not a bad thing. Just was unexpected.
I mean, I feel like the movie that really took that idea to its breaking point was American Gangster.
The Ridley Scott movie?
Yes. It literally opens with like an interrogation scene where Denzel Washington just like murders a dude, like empties an entire clip in his head, and then there's like nothing that violent in the rest of the movie.
That's a choice.
He just like pours gasoline on him and just goes bang, 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 bang.
That's quite the choice.
And it's not even a long scene. It's like 45 seconds to like a minute.
Huh.
It is very jarring. I will say that much.
American Gangster or Jurassic Park?
The opening of American Gangster.
Okay.
And this one, yeah, it felt like more of a tone setter as opposed to what I just described.
I will say I did love all the exposition and how it sets everything up. I've been listening to someone's been posting the community commentary tracks on YouTube. So I've been listening to them like a podcast and just taking that in. And I think it was Dan Harmon who was talking about how you don't want to put a plot twist for the sake of a plot twist. You kind of just want to set everything up so the events feel inevitable, like it's gonna happen. I think this movie does that really well with setting up the knowledge of all the dinosaurs, so that you know that, hey, the velociraptors are gonna come in hordes and circle them, or you're gonna know about the it sets everything up that it makes sense that, oh, this is gonna happen next.
I mean, in regards to that, I don't understand what the purpose of Jeff Goldblum's character is.
To set up how uncontrollable the world is.
I don't know. That just doesn't feel necessary. If anything, it feels like it's preemptively like giving a point of attack to the people who are like, this film's ridiculous. It just that's not realistic.
Yeah. Is that
Like,
not?
I don't know if that's necessary. That just feels like a lot of screen time wasted on pedantic people who don't need to be addressed.
I think it adds weight to the decisions that the characters make. When the reminder that any second something could happen and change. It's totally what happens when the car's in the tree and Alan leans on the wheel and then the car tire twists a little and then plops down. A lot of this movie is about human beings trying to control the world, right? That's what Attenborough's John Hammond's trying to do with the dinosaurs. That's what Wayne Knight's trying to do. He's the dude with the can of trying to steal the stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm the smartest dude around here. You can't do any of this without me. I got this all planned out. And then like he didn't consider weather. He didn't consider the fact that he has no clue where to drive. And so I think
okay, maybe it makes sense thematically. But like in terms of
why he's there.
Yes. Why did they bring a mathematician to the island to scope it out?
He said the businessman brought him.
But
well, on that helicopter, I guess to see if it's a viable businessman, like if it's possible.
I guess. So how do we feel about the subplot of the dude not wanting children?
A lot of this movie is about parenthood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because him, you can say the Attenborough's John Hammond's like the father of these new versions of the dinosaurs. You can argue Laura Dern pushes that a lot. I don't know what that does for the film as a whole, but I do think it's important to have one character evolve some way. Because Dern, she doesn't really change by the end of this.
Moneybags does, though.
The dude who dies? He changed because he was bitten in half.
No. I'm talking about the guy who made the park.
Yes. But he's not the sympathetic character. He's not the one you're going to be following in all the action. Goldblum doesn't change at all. And so I think you need something. I would be intrigued to ask Spielberg, and Michael Crichton did the book that this was adapted into, and someone else helped in the script. David Coep. Why do I recognize that name? I don't know, but
I feel like also this is a plot point that we're gonna have to put a pin in and come back to when we get to Jurassic World.
What, the childhood, the parenthood stuff?
Yes. Well, specifically the not wanting kids stuff.
Is that Chris Pratt's storyline in the new movies?
Not Chris Pratt's.
Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yes.
Wait.
Because she's a girl boss.
What? Okay.
Girl bosses don't want to be maternal. But let's put a pin in that one.
I guess. I liked Laura Dern in this movie very much. She's very badass. And I found there was never a moment when she was like, I'm a woman. I can't do the action. Oh, I guess I have to now. She was like, no, I am going to take control of this if no one else is going to. And she had like, there's a moment in the end where she lands and it's having like a superhero pose with her hand on the ground and her leaning forward. It was like, yes, Laura Dern.
Oh, like the Iron Man 3 poster.
Is that the Iron Man 3 poster? That's not the
There
one
was an Iron Man 3 poster where he does that.
That is a choice.
But
Quite the choice.
I feel like none of the actors in this, there's very little for me to glom onto in this.
Really?
Yeah. Like the way you felt about Avatar, I'm feeling about this.
I do think I think we've talked about this previously on the podcast. That discussion of like movies as theme parks.
Right.
Like this is the epitome and the goal for every movie, every blockbuster is try to achieve what this film does.
You know, the thing about that
Go on.
is, so let's say like blockbusters of this type are theme parks.
Okay, go on.
Let's say your Marvel movies are a roller coaster. This felt like one of those rides where like you just like go through at a leisurely pace as things happen around you.
But then there was that steep drop.
I didn't feel that.
Once the power goes out and the T-Rex is loose,
I didn't feel it.
I was fucking scared. I jumped at the end when Laura Dern's like, it's all right. And then the Velociraptor fucking punches in through the wall.
Also, underutilized actors, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. I forget he's in this movie.
Like he wasn't given much to work with.
He wasn't BD Wong wasn't given much to work with. You're a fan of Mr. Robot, right?
Yes.
I believe BD Wong's in
Wait. BD Wong was in this film?
He was the scientist who was like, "Oh, these are the eggs. They like to imprint on people." And then I think
don't remember that.
I think he returns later on in later movies too. When they first find the eggs and they're hatching.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that was him.
I thought he was gonna have a larger presence since he returns in the later movies, but no, he has one scene. Is he still on the island? We don't know. He never comes back. I do think excuse me as I mute myself as I'm about to burp.
All right, what's Miss Simpson gonna say?
I do think in the theme park realm, right, that a lot of these characters aren't the most complex or deep characters, right?
Mhm.
It's very much, I don't know if you want to say stock characters, but it's clear who's the villains, who's the heroes, you know. And so I don't think the movie's digging deep into questioning anything about like the pains of being a human being on Earth.
Well, I don't think every film needs to either.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not.
But like also,
I think that's why it's hard to grab onto something.
But like, I'm not even really sensing much of a bigger theme overall. Like at least with something like Avatar, you have the theme of preserving nature and stuff like that. I'm not sensing much of that here.
Is this not man versus nature?
I mean, if we're gonna go extremely broad, then yeah, I guess. But
The man thinks he can control dinosaurs, and then like they evolved past what you think. You're not smart enough for these dinosaurs.
But see, you know, that's another element that like there was like a line that said that they had like however billion or like million years of evolution, but like they kind of didn't though, because they existed and then they stopped for a long time and then came back. You can't count that time in between.
They talk about the fact that birds are like descendants of dinosaurs. I don't know how that works. Because it also ends with him. It ends with Sam Neill looking out the helicopter, looking at a pelican. It's like, oh, the pelican's a dinosaur now.
Well, I mean that is like, I think that's scientifically accurate.
Yeah,
but like it doesn't have much of a purpose here. Also, the dinosaur facts in this movie all over the place. if you're a big dinosaur fan, I don't know how you feel about this movie.
What do you mean by we were talking about the effects earlier? What do you mean they're all
No,
over
I
the
said
place?
facts,
Oh,
like fact, like the true,
such as
such as them like questioning whether or not they're reptiles. No, they're not reptiles.
did they ever say they were?
They did
They
when they
did.
saw them up close.
They did
The small
say
ones.
they
They
added.
were like, these are cold blooded, like something like that.
I see.
I don't know.
I see. I'm so confused by this 45 million billion year argument you're presenting.
Okay, so like the way they presented it, it was like, oh, they've they existed so long ago and they're still around, so like all that time in the middle counts, but it shouldn't.
I thought it was a they existed for so long and are gone and now they're back and that's unnatural. And that's going to cause problems.
But the way they said it was like they were looking at it, it's like that what they're doing right now, that's 60 million years of evolution. It's like, what? No, it isn't.
Are we talking about the scene when they're looking at the goat and Laura Dern's like, and then women take over, man?
No, no.
What scene are you talking about?
It was when they were still in the cars just driving through.
Yeah. I think we're talking about the same scene. We just perceived it differently. That's the beauty of art until when it's not, which we'll tackle later on in this podcast.
What else is there to talk about?
The
one gag I enjoyed was the hand.
Yeah, it's a great one. That's a great one.
And like there was that one section where the kids were in the kitchen and it reminded me a lot of like a stealth section in a video game.
Yeah, very
That's
much.
it. Like that's the amount to which the spectacle moments grabbed me.
Oh, I was a big fan of that first T-Rex scene.
Which one?
The when the T-Rex comes and they're in the car and then it breaks through the glass on the top. The kids are freaking out and then they take out the flares and try to scare him off.
I'll be honest, it looked kind of goofy the way they were just like holding up the glass and the head was like
I could see that. I was very scared in the moment. So I was like, fuck no, get away.
Because it just looked like he was going
I was kind of confused with what happened to the dude who's with the Triceratops. Remember there was a dude with the Triceratops? Yeah. And he's like, oh, you go run and I'm going to shoot. Clever girl.
Yeah, he was eaten. Something
felt weird about that. And I don't know what.
But like that was also something they set up earlier. Because they were like, oh, you know, when the guy was talking to the little kid and he's like, this was the chickens. And then like he was like, you know, you look at the one, but then they come at you from the sides. They're smart.
I did like that.
They did that.
But something about that felt off to me, and I can't put my finger on why. I liked Wayne Knight in this movie.
Who was that?
Wayne Knight is the dude who is stealing stuff. Wayne Knight, famously known as Newman from Seinfeld. I think of him as the main cat in the Nickelodeon cartoon Cat Scratch.
Speaking of memes, though.
Okay, go on.
That first scene with him, I saw his shirt, that background. I was like, oh, this is where we're going to get that meme. And it like happened almost immediately. I was like, all right, I guess that's that.
Wait, you saw him in the shirt he's been wearing the entire movie?
No. The first scene where he's on the beach, like
we're talking about Goldblum, right?
No.
Okay, I was confused.
No, I'm talking about Wayne Knight.
There's a Wayne Knight meme that I'm unaware of?
Where it's like, see, it's this thing. Nobody cares.
I don't know about this meme. I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, it's one that people usually use when like attacking someone who's like, I'm leaving this group because it's like, see, nobody cares.
Huh. I've never seen this meme before. I'm very disappointed. I've never seen this meme before.
Well, there you go.
it bothered me in that scene when he like has the shaving
Barbasol.
cream, yeah, the barbasol in his hand, and he wipes on the pie.
I mean, maybe it is whipped cream. You don't know.
Maybe, maybe. Should we talk about Jeff Goldblum?
Um,
You don't want to?
I like it. It isn't what I was expecting from a Jeff Goldblum performance because, like, at this point, he's been memed so much in terms of the with
Yeah.
the thing. It's like that's not his character here. So I was like, okay,
He's not awkward, which I think we assume with the vocal tics. Can I say that?
right, yeah,
His habits, but you do get that he does take the pauses and thinks a lot as he darts through the sentence. And I assume this is where most people became familiar with him, probably.
Hmm.
And so it seemed like this is the birth of what we assume to be Jeff Goldblum. Obviously, he's a great actor. He does other stuff, and then it evolves. And I
All
was
right.
I was not
mean,
ready
I
for
won't
him.
say it was a bad performance, but like again, it was something that wasn't exactly groundbreaking or like stuck out for me.
No, I don't think any of the performances are too memorable. But again, it's the sensation of the dinosaurs, and if it doesn't work for you, then that's gonna take away most of the movie,
Yeah.
which is a shame. But what can you do? I liked the introduction when they sit down and it's the video explaining, and I'm like,
And he
It's a-
talks to it.
this is so dumb. With the DNA thing talking, that's funny.
Wait, where? I feel like I saw that like animation of the DNA thing somewhere else. Where is that from?
It feels like something everyone did in the 90s, probably like
It
that
might
type
have
of
been
thing.
from like Schoolhouse Rock or something like that.
It would be something like that, though. It wouldn't be that.
You sure?
Maybe I might be wrong. Did School Rock? I don't remember Schoolhouse Rock going. I'm a DNA, just a DNA, and I am the one who says how you are as a person. That's my song.
Nice.
I had nothing else. That's a parody of "I'm Just a Bill," a great classic American song. One of the greats, really. Did you look up if the DNA is in anything else?
I did, but like I looked up Schoolhouse Rock specifically, and like they did have a song about it. I don't, and like I was looking through the preview, like you know how YouTube lets you see a couple images.
Yeah,
It wasn't in any of those.
I see. I see. I liked how this film does that movie thing of they're not gonna do it, and then they cut to them doing it.
What
Case
do
in
you mean?
point, it's not, unless they learn how to open doors, cut to them opening a door because they're evolving. They're smarter than we
Again,
realize.
like that stuff like that, it just felt too dumb to be scary.
I took that as the evolution of the Velociraptor, discovering matching the environment. It is really dumb when you think about it, but
Because like I'm just imagining the thing on the other side of the door with its small hands just going.
I did like later in the scene the fake out of her reflection on the it tackles the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun fake out. What else am I looking for? I was a big fan of the quiet moments in this film. When they first go up to the T-Rex scene and the goat comes out, all you hear are like the wind and the animals and it built up tension that I don't think it intentionally they didn't pay it off. I think that's the point, and then they come back and then the shit goes. Because I found John Williams' score very great score, very iconic, but like it played when they were entering the tutorial place. I was like, are you relying a little bit too much on this, Spielberg? But then they took it away from there. They took it away when the T-Rex finally attacks. I love the little moment of the kids eating, and there's this little glances and smiles to each other. It's like,
I found the way he held that spoon weird.
can you recreate? I think I know what you're saying. But there's a weird curvature to his wrist as he's eating, I guess.
Yeah, it's like he's like going down and then just like his arm is higher than his head and like his actual
It was
hand
like
is like
leaned down
positioned
though.
lower and then he's just like
That was very odd. That was very odd.
Speaking of the music though, what I found interesting was I was watching it with subtitles.
Mhm.
And the first time the main theme showed up, it was like wondrous music or something like that.
Oh.
And then when it showed up again towards the end, when the T-Rex was rampaging, it said dramatic music, and it was
Wow.
the exact same song. Which is it?
Was it the?
No, it was
Wait,
that.
I hummed and then Zoom's asking for plain music. Set up professional audio in audio settings. What?
I guess we're just that good.
What is this? I'm gonna look into this setting later out of curiosity.
But yeah, it was that one.
Was it sped up for the T-Rex chase? Maybe.
No.
Oh, that didn't stick out. But when you're told, it's very confusing. I don't know. When they look at the brontosauruses, I assume it's brontosauruses. Do we have confirmation that they're brontosauruses, the tall ones?
It was Bronto or Brachia, something
Brachia.
like that.
When they first meet it, and then the music hits, I'm like, these look weird.
That was the first time the song hit, where it said like wondrous or something like that, and then the second time it was dramatic.
It was very wondrous. I got chills watching that.
So my one note I had going back to that scene where like he's at his own fossil site. This scene stuck out to me way too much.
Okay.
Where like he's explaining the thing to the kid about how it's not a chicken.
Okay.
Why is that kid there?
That's what I thought as well.
Like, why is this kid here?
It's that thing of they want to set up the him hating kids so badly that they're like, who cares if this makes sense? This is the only way. This is the only. We can't put a kid in the opening. He's not in the opening. So I guess let's throw a kid in this scene. And there was
like it's just like he's just in the background and like he's just like it looks like a chicken and then it just draws so much attention to him. It's like, why is he here?
It was very confusing. Very odd that a child was there. Because even if he was one of the workers' kids, like, why is your kid at the dig site?
But like, you know, in that case, I could kind of see it. Like, you know what? Maybe the kid's upset that he's not at home playing his video games or like watching his TV, hanging out with his friends. He's got to go to this stupid dinosaur fossil place. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of these things. I'm going to take them down a peg.
Oh my god. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about? It was nice to see Richard Attenborough in a movie because I feel like everyone talks about him as a narrator for stuff. I'm like, okay, now I know what he sounds like. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, you see, we dumb people. We know watch documentaries.
Why was this not a documentary?
Documentary?
Yes, about Jurassic, because they have that logo that I see all around. I assumed it's about the actual logo. Also, bothered me that the logo for the series was featured as the merchandising logo because I'm like, whoa.
Wait, what do you mean?
So the logo that is acquainted with Jurassic Park with like the T-Rex skeleton, right?
Mm-hmm.
It threw me off that was on the merchandising in the store. It's not like you see the logo for the MCU in an Avengers movie.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's the park.
We're
watching the park. So like whenever they said like, welcome to Jurassic Park, I was like, they did it. They did it. They said it. They said the thing.
We're going to get to that line later. But it threw me off. I was like, oh, that's smart. It just was weird.
But like also going back to the dinosaur facts.
Sure.
I think at one point I knew this, but like I heard it somewhere or something, but I'm not 100% sure. So dinosaurs, they existed for longer than the Jurassic period.
Sure.
And I think some of the dinosaurs featured in Jurassic Park did not exist during the Jurassic period.
Do you think this Mr. Moneybags, as you call him, do you think he cares?
Yes.
He does not care.
Listen, he went through the effort of like finding these dead flies from like billions of years ago. He's like, I'm going to get their DNA. I'm going to go through this arduous process and I'm just going to get the wrong era. No, I don't think that's right.
He was worried if he could make Jurassic Park. Not if he should put the wrong dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
That means he didn't make Jurassic Park. He made Mesozoic Park, but he didn't make Jurassic Park.
Hold up. Mesozoic Park. You
Yes.
realize, say it once more.
Mesozoic Park.
Now say Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Which one sounds cooler?
Mesozoic Park because
That's
it's
too many
accurate.
syllables. Too many syllables. All right. Too many syllables. Mesozoic, Jurassic. That one syllable does a lot.
Like, okay, I'm pulling up the timeline right now.
All right.
The big thing, the T-Rex, that's the Cretaceous period.
Mhm.
I mean, the long boys, that's Jurassic. That's fine. But like the main one that they're showcasing, that's Cretaceous.
Pawan. This would be like being mad at Disney World for having Avatar rides before Disney bought Fox.
No, it isn't.
It is.
How?
Because they didn't own Avatar yet. Why would Avatar be in Disney World? Avatar's not Disney. Now it is.
You know what? Maybe what they could have done is be like, this is the area of the park that's focused on this period. This is the area of the park that's focused on this period.
Why does Dorney Park have Snoopy characters? Snoopy's not from Dorney.
It's not the same.
Six
okay?
Flags? Acme is not in Six Flags.
Listen, they're trying to present
You are
us.
you are mad at the what you perceive to be historical and scientific facts, but rather you're mad at the branding strategies of this park. And we don't know who was in charge of that.
Fair enough. But I still hold that I am angry about that.
You have the right to be angry, but I think you need to direct your anger at the right person. It's not.
I mean, it is money get. It is the money bag's fault.
Yes,
and
I said it was the money bag's fault.
But like, this movie was out here spreading misinformation, is what I'm saying.
I thought you were going to say the dinosaurs, if you stand still, they won't see you. Like, I thought that was, I think that's misinformation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that seems accurate too, because like they're treating dinosaurs like bears.
So you are worried about the classification less so than the strategic elements.
Yes, because like
the
strategic elements.
The one who doesn't care if we call Twin Peaks a movie was mad that we called this Jurassic Park rather than Mesozoic Park.
Because this isn't about this isn't
Criterion
actually
Park or wherever the heck it was.
Criterion is a channel, and it's where they put movies.
I know.
That has nothing to do with dinosaurs.
I know. Twin Peaks TV show.
Listen, that's not science. That's art. Art can mean different things. Jurassic Park is trying to be scientific,
but
and it's inaccurate science. So
it's the art of marketing.
No,
it's the marketing of the park. It's the art of the park.
Listen, in that case, if they're going to be a pedantic about including Jeff Goldblum's character to showcase like, oh, it's chaos theory, that's why weird things could happen, then I want a mini scene being like, why didn't you call it, the Mesozoic Park? And then it's like, no, Jurassic Park sounds better.
Now you have dinosaurs that aren't from the Mesozoic era in Mesozoic Park. There's no win unless you call it Jurassic Mesozoic Park.
Wait, Mesozoic is the era which encompasses the time that dinosaurs were alive, including Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. And the Triassic period as well. Those were the three periods that were encompassed in the Mesozoic era.
So you want to call it the Mesozoic Park.
Listen, I took a class on dinosaurs in college. I got an A in it.
Whoa, we took class on dinosaurs? That's cool. I wish I did that.
And like, you know what? I'm trying to flex a little bit that like I had to learn this stuff. And now I'm watching this inaccurate film.
I apologize. I didn't realize I was talking to an expert here.
Yeah, I took a 101 class on dinosaurs, so I know what I'm talking about.
Actually, it's really cool you took a class on dinosaurs. I wish I did something like that. For my sciences, I did psychology classes. It was like,
See,
okay.
that's the thing. I majored in psychology, but at Rutgers that doesn't count as a natural science. So for my science,
because what we do as human beings and why we think these things unnatural, the way we act, the way we make choices, the way we behave, unnatural.
so like those were the only two classes that I had to take outside of anything else I was doing. So for that I took dinosaurs and intro to meteorology.
Ooh.
Which it could be argued.
You learned about the victim and the killer. The meteor and the dinosaurs. You had to learn both parties' situations and then from your opinion on the killing of the dinosaurs.
Yes, because meteorology is about meteors and not weather.
What else would it be about?
But like I find it interesting how like meteorology was considered a natural science but not psychology, considering meteorology they can only go as far as like 7 days. After that it's like we don't know what's going on. What methodology is there in that?
I feel like your frustration with meteorology and the lack of control is the reason you're frustrated with Jurassic Park.
Listen, I just said like that's another element that was in this film that I took a whole class. Can't say it was inaccurate in this movie though. It was just there.
Was the rain not inaccurate? Does it not rain?
Rain does not exist, and this is the hill I will die on.
Oh my goodness. Wait. Oh, you take over for a second. I need to process this.
So rain, precipitation in liquid form does not exist, but snow does. That is the stand I am taking. Yeah, that's just water you were drinking. That's not rain. That's water. There's difference. Water can come from the sky in different forms, but not rain.
It is wild, the things I'm learning today. Can we talk about how they don't kill the dinosaurs at the end?
Yeah, they just leave them be.
He's like, there's a plan to. And they don't.
Because, like, that's just cruel and unusual, bruh.
So he's pulling people back from the dead.
Who did they pull back from the dead?
The dinosaurs.
No. See, that's different. They didn't bring the dinosaurs back from the dead. They made new dinosaurs.
I see.
It's not like the ones that died came back. It's like they used the blood of the dead ones to make new ones.
I apologize. I will say this goes to a point I wanted to bring up that I've noticed with Spielberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've watched Jurassic Park, his one film in the $1 billion club so far. In episode 0, we discuss War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we didn't go into our history with Spielberg today.
That's fine. I don't know. Do we need to? I'm going into it right now.
Go for it. Let's do it.
I watched Jaws for the first time recently. I've watched the Indiana Joneses recently for the first time, and the man just ends his movies.
Yeah, they just like stop.
They just stop. Like when it's E.T., it's like okay, he went home. That's it. But there's no like, how does this change the person? How do they feel about what happened? It just ends.
I feel like the one exception might be Minority Report.
Maybe his more serious stuff. I haven't seen that.
I saw it once, and I do have it on DVD, so I might watch it again for just
to see.
Just cause, yeah. I did enjoy that movie though. Also, it was a fun one.
Oh,
But
Spielberg, you're typically gonna get a good movie.
it's
But
got
like,
Tom Cruise.
I think even the Post just kind of just ends. I can't remember because who remembers anything about the Post? But
Didn't he also direct like Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy, or something like that?
no, he did Bridge of Spies, which I don't. I
Did that
remember.
just end?
I remember enjoying uh uh Mark Rylance in it. I remember Amy Ryan was in it. I was excited about that.
Does Lincoln just end?
I didn't finish Lincoln. I was 15. I was like, I'm gonna watch this Oscar movie. And I started, I was like, no. Will I try one
Is
of these
that
days?
really the first like because I know you're all about watching all the Oscar movies. Was that the first one where you were like, you know what, maybe I won't do this one?
That was the first, yeah, that was the first year I was like, let me do all of them. Because I did The Artist and like Hugo in
Whoa,
2011.
whoa, 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 wait. You were able to sit through The Artist, but not Lincoln?
The Artist is a delight. It's charming.
Come
John Goodman's in it.
on.
It's very fun. It's not like the greatest film of all time. Should have won Best Picture? Probably not, but I enjoyed it. But Lincoln, I was like, oh, okay. And that's the year, like, I finished Les Mis, I finished Zero Dark 30, I finished Her. No, Her would have been next year. I finished the Django.
The Django.
The Django. The Django Unchained.
Oh, okay.
A big fan of Silver Linings Playbook that year.
For some reason, for a second, when you said Django, my mind went to Rango.
I never watched that movie. I wish I did.
It's a fun one. It's fun. And like it's one of those things where like you'll remember a couple years later is like, was that really a movie or was that a fever dream I had?
And you still don't know the answer. Oh, I will say I'm looking at his movies. Ready Player One had like a this is what happens after, and it was terrible.
Oh my god, the ending to Ready Player One. Like just in the world that they built for that movie, just the decisions of this dude is so terrible. Like it'd be like if the entire like if our entire economy was based on this one thing and like one or 2 days out of the week they're like it doesn't exist today, don't worry about it.
But I guess that's more of a script thing in Spielberg, right?
But like just that movie baffles me because the idea is like the message of that movie involves so like to be able to get to this position where you're in charge, you have to be this uber nerd who all you do with your life is fixate on this one dude and his past. And the message at the end of the movie, once he is able to achieve what he needs to because of that ability, is you shouldn't do that. So how does that work?
It very much bothered me that the big secret, the final Easter egg they're looking for, was the very first Easter egg ever invented, which is pretty. That's not deep nerd lore.
You think that's bad, bro? You shouldn't read the book because
Not.
you remember that sequence where they're in The Shining?
Yeah.
In the book, that moment, they literally just quote the entire script of
Ghostbusters or something, right?
War Games.
Or
The movie where the tagline was the only winning move is not to play. I think that was War Games.
I ever told you my story of the book for Ready Player One?
Go ahead.
This was before the movie came out. And I really enjoyed the trailers. I was like, oh, let me read this before I watch it. So I bought the book because I was buying books for class and I was like, oh, it's here. Then I got home, was like, I'm not reading this shit. And so I returned the book the next day.
I actually have a copy of that book because
For the book burning?
I mean at this point might as well, but because my brother he keeps buying the anime like the loot crates and like they just gave that in one of the crates. But like geez, they literally there's just an entire section where they just quote the entirety of War Games.
Is the entire script of War Games in the book, and that's why it's as long as it is? Like a 90 pages straight of just the screenplay from War Games.
It's like I said, and then
Is it from first person, that book?
I haven't read it.
Okay. Because I don't want to read that book in first person.
But like, I actually think it might be. I think it is. Because Ready Player 2 is. I've read segments of that. And like, because there's like Jenny Nicholson, she made a video where she like read the girl version of Ready Player 1, where they replaced all the like references to like girl properties.
Wait,
Where it's like, I saw all the anime, Hamtaro, Sailor Moon.
hold on. Is this like a licensed, like an official thing, or like fan made thing?
I don't know. But like, it is a physical book that has a similar cover to the original.
Okay, can we stop talking about Ready Player One now? That movie makes me mad.
But like, no. I need to talk about the cultural aspects of Ready Player One for a sec.
This is the episode about Jurassic Park.
You're the one who brought it up, so now we're talking about Ready
Frick.
Player One.
I will say Mark Rylance, again, brilliant in that movie. That's it. You go take the reins.
That became such a big tool of gatekeeping in nerd culture. Because like that's what the book was kind of made for, where it's like, oh, hey, look at all these references. You know them, right? You know them because you're a nerd. So like a lot of people took that and it's like, if you don't know everything it's talking about, you're not one of us. So it became this big cultural aspect for nerds. And also in Ready Player 2, there is a segment where like the main character says, I've had all types of sex. I've had straight sex. I've had gay sex. I've had non-binary sex. What? And like at this point, Ernest Cline, he's got enough money to have like sensitivity readers, right? Why didn't he go for have any sensitivity readers? Or if he did, why didn't they say anything?
I'm going to finish eating these Hello Pandas to calm me down because I don't know what the fuck that means.
No one does. Like, what does it mean to have non-binary sex? Like, you could tell he's trying to like reach out to like to like different groups that he doesn't know about, but like he doesn't know about it. It's just bad.
I will say these Hello Pandas, delicious.
Okay, so that's the mini rant about Ready Player Blank over.
Oh, there's that. And there goes. Is there anything else to say about Jurassic? Why do you think it made $1 billion?
Because dinosaur pretty.
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like this was a downer of an episode, but I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's excellent. I think it's what every blockbuster tries to be and should try to be. Just the exhilarating feel of this movie is what you strive
And for me, it was a very solid like 6.5 out of 10.
Shame. But you know what? No movie is perfect.
No.
Which is why we sometimes we like to dig deep in our brains and go, whoa, Steven Spielberg, you should do this. Because we're nerds. We know what people who like movies like.
I know the references in Ready Player One.
I know the reference to E.T., but you took it out of the movie because movie nerds don't know E.T. But real nerds do. Juan, how would you improve this movie?
Okay. So we got dinosaurs like taken from DNA. But like we go into the hall and we see big skeletons They're just sitting there. They're not doing anything. So one thing I would do is let's grab some of that fly blood, inject it into those bones, and it just comes back to life. Just as bones. We get skeleton dinosaurs as well.
Go on. I may have been intrigued by this concept.
So like in that sequence where like they're climbing, they're trying to like enter back into that main room where like they're just climbing on top of the dinosaur bones. What if the dinosaur bones start moving there and then it starts attacking them as they're trying to like climb off of it?
Did we have a mind meld? Did we have a mind meld before the podcast happened?
Don't tell me that's where you were going with this.
I have more, but I'll give my interpretation in a bit.
And like also, so like there's those Jeeps. And like yeah, they cart them around in the Jeeps, and there's that sequence with like the tree where it falls down. It's like, but I don't think the Jeeps were utilized enough. And you know what's on the Jeeps? More images of dinosaurs.
Whoa.
So you know what we're gonna do? We're going to so there's a movie coming up called Transformers: Age of Extinction,
Oh my goodness.
which includes cars turning into robots and robots that turn into dinosaurs. So what I'm saying is, let's have these cars once all hell breaks loose, because Jeff Goldblum chaos theory, right? You never know what's going to happen. So like as soon as they exit the Jeeps, they turn into dinosaurs.
That is incredible.
Because my main issue with this movie is, you know what, they got like 2 or 3 different types of dinosaurs, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I want more. So I want skeleton dinosaurs and I want car dinosaurs. Those are my main fixes.
Well done.
And also like I want to, oh right. So like going back to what I said earlier, I want that brief scene where like they discuss why it's called Jurassic Park instead of Mesozoic Park. So it's like, it's for the marketing. No. If you're going to have Jeff Goldblum explain why anything could happen, you need that somewhere in the movie as well.
I see.
You need that somewhere in the movie. And also, why is that kid there? I want an explanation why the kid's there. Maybe he'll be like, as soon as like the dude explains to him all that stuff, and he's like scared. He was just like, I'm sorry, my mom just dragged me here against my will, so I don't know what I'm saying. It's like just a little bit like that, you know. Just add something there. All right, those are my fixes.
We really just were on the same page. All right. So first off, brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So brilliant. I think we thought alike. So starting off, right? I talked about how these aren't the deepest of characters. You know, they do what they do and they do it well. But I like to deepen and push into these themes that Spielberg and Crichton and other screenwriter, I can't think of the name of, what they want to explore with the main character of what's Sam Neill's name in this movie? Alan? Yes, to explore Alan Grant a little bit more, you know. When characters are in conflict, their inner selves come out and you can explore them and learn more about their psychology and psychosis. I don't know if those are the words I'm looking for, but they sound like they are. All right. So start off, right? Opening. The kid says whatever dumb thing the kid does, right?
He calls him a chicken.
And then so Alan starts telling him about the velociraptors. And he pulls out the claw, right? And he goes, "You get your first look at the 6-foot turkey as you move into a clearing. But Raptor, he knew you were there a long time ago. He moves like a bird, lightly bobbing his head. And you keep still because you think maybe his visceral acuity is based on movement, like a T-Rex, and he'll lose you if you don't move. But no, not Velociraptor. You stare at him. He just stares back. That's when the attack comes. And he stabs the kid. And as he yanks the cloud, he goes, not from the front, no, from the side. The other two raptors don't even know we're there.
Whoa, wait.
Let me continue. Velociraptor is a pack of hunters. You see, he uses coordinated attack patterns. He's on force today, and he slashes at you with this. Another slash across the kid's chest. A 6-inch retractable claw like a razor on the middle toe. They don't bother to bite the jugular like the lion. They just slash here, another slash here, another slash, or maybe across the belly. Slash across the belly, spilling your intestines. Point is, you're alive when they start to eat you. Holding took about 4 seconds. Have at him. And then all the workers there go and start eating the kid and cannibalize him to show how much he hates children.
So the idea I got while you were saying that is instead of having him slash him, like while he's saying that to the kid, where he's like, it's not the one in front of you, it's the ones on the side, and then 2 people on the side just go for it.
No, those are the cannibals. The cannibals come from the side and eat him.
Exactly. So like those are the ones that slash him also and like come and eat him.
Now another adjustment. We know dinosaurs part frog now. All dinosaurs can't walk, they hop around. And the T-Rex has a very long tongue that helps him grab stuff if need be. Spielberg, you can figure that out with how you direct the action. But I think it needs a tongue. Now, my next thing. I have so much more than I realized. So you know the end when they're crawling out from the roofs,
Mhm.
and Laura Dern is out front, and she sees the skeleton of the dinosaur.
Mhm.
It briefly looks like it's a real dinosaur, right? And then you realize, no, it's a fake dinosaur. The dinosaur then turns its head. It's the T-Rex from Night at the Museum. It's the T-Rex part of the fight. And then we cut to the end when they're getting on the helicopter. And Richard Attenborough's John Hammond. Hammond's standing there thinking about the park, questioning the choices he's made. Right? And you hear, hey, Hammond. Someone from the walkie-talkie? What? Hey, Hammond. This is what you get for making me give that presentation every day. It's the DNA man. The DNA man was behind this all along. He had the deal with Wayne Knight. He is the evil mastermind behind all of this. It's the DNA man. Because they thought they could control the DNA man because he's fictional. But really, he evolved
into reality. So
Yes.
he's no longer fictional.
Mhm.
And then in the second movie, he evolves past the fiction of existing in the movie itself and
Yes.
becomes real.
And now we discussed many times, I brought up the fact that the movie kind of just ends. And so I'm like, well, what happens after, right?
Mhm.
So obviously we know Alan Grant does not want kids or like kids. So they're flying on the airplane, the helicopter. It pulls out. Rather than the credits scrolling on, cut to a close-up of a paper of sorts and a lot of text. You're focused on the text, and then it pans down. You see a line, and then a hand writes its signature. Alan goes, "Wow, I haven't signed these many things since I did that book signing." Because he wrote a book. Pulls out. Him, Laura Dern are in an office with the 2 kids. They're signing adoption papers for the kids because we don't know their parents. Turns out John Hammond is their legal guardian, and he's unfit. He's very unfit to guard them now.
I mean,
So-
he is their grandfather.
So he's
Like, that's-
unfit now. He's
But
unfit.
that's
though.
in the plot of the movie. He is their grandfather.
But where's the parents? Are they visiting the grandfather, or is he their legal guardian?
I mean, the dude who betrayed them is supposed to be his son, so I assume they were his kids.
Different names. I don't think it was a serious father. I thought that line too. I think it was a mocking. Yeah, dad. Because Wayne Knight's character is Dennis Nedry, and then the kids are Tim Murphy and Lex Murphy.
I mean, there was, it was more than just that line.
But no, they're not his kids because his name is Dennis Nedry. The kids are Tim Murphy and Lex Murphy.
Listen, maybe they got
Even
divorced
if
and they took after their mother.
even if Wayne Knight is their parent, he's dead. So they need new guardians. And so Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler are now the kids' guardians.
I just got a new fix.
After I fixed the movie perfectly.
Yes, you know what? You got some perfect fixes there, but like, I want an addendum to my
An
fixes.
addendum. Okay.
So like, we think he's dead, but we never see him. So what if, hear me out, the goo that the small dinosaur sprayed on him, it doesn't kill him, it turns him into a dinosaur.
Wow. And that's how they breed.
Yes.
They think it's the eggs, but really they spit on other eggs and then the eggs turn into dinosaur eggs.
Exactly. And it's like, maybe we see Samuel L. Jackson's arm, but like, we don't see the rest of his body. He turned into that dinosaur that was attacking Laura Dern.
Okay. So Wayne Knight killed Sam Jackson. Oh, no, you're saying Sam Jackson turned into a dinosaur as well.
Yes.
I see.
So like, now you can't even trust your fellow man to not be a dinosaur.
Wow. That really adds a new element of fear. You know, there was a time Crichton had the number one show on TV, the number one film in America,
What show?
and the number one book. I think it was like I think he like co-did ER or something.
Oh,
Let me double check. Yeah, he was the creator of ER, and he
Wow.
wrote Jurassic Park. And there was a time that all those were big at the same time. And I think we could do that now because we improved on his work.
you know what? We've been talking about our opinions and like how we feel the movie could be better or improved.
Sure, as we do.
But again, opinions don't mean shit.
They don't
Because
wait. So opinions aren't like the dinosaur shit that Laura Dern grabs and digs through.
no.
Wow.
What is important when it comes to art is factual numbers and arguments.
My goodness.
So now we go into the section where we are categorically ranking these movies.
You see the screen?
Not yet. There it is.
Let's rank some movies.
Let's rank this movie.
All right. As usual, let's flip a coin.
I'm heads.
It is heads. Pawan.
Ooh.
So to recap, last week we placed the MCU Shane Black's Iron Man 3 at number 20.
Spelt out the entire word 3, not number.
As the film does. So Pawan, did you like Jurassic Park better or worse than Iron Man 3? Wow, this could be an interesting ranking.
I liked it worse.
Did you like it better or worse than Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2?
That's a good question.
Is it better or worse?
Let's go with better.
All right. So we don't even need the dino number generator.
7,000,000.
Nah, because right at number 26, Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. I'll be honest, I always forget how to spell Jurassic. Did I spell it right?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
I always think there's 2 R's, but I tried 1 R on Jurassic. There is 1 R. Okay, cool.
Cool.
To recap the list.
All right. At number 47, we got Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. At 46, we got Alice in Wonderland. 45, Toy Story 3. 44, Avatar. Number 41, Transformers Dark of the Moon. Number 37, we got Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. At number 34, we got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. 33, The Dark Knight Rises. 32, The Dark Knight. 31, Marvel's The Avengers. At number 28, we have The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. At number 27, we got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. At number 26, we got Jurassic Park. At number 25, we have Iron Man 3. Tied for 21, we have Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. At 19, we have Titanic. At 3, we have Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And at number 1, we have Skyfall.
You know how A Few Good Men has that line, "You can't handle the truth"?
Mhm.
I'm afraid of the truth of what's going to be in the top half of this list.
Well, we only have a certain amount of movies left, and like we've already filled out a good amount of the bottom half.
Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk?
One can say we might be a little bit too critical of earlier films, but that's when you don't take into account that these aren't about our opinions, and when you got to take the axiom that new is usually better.
I'm off put by the fact that you just threw in the word axiom. I don't know the definition of that word, so I think you used it right. And I'm impressed.
Thank you.
So that was this week's episode of the $1 Billion Movie Club. Thank you for joining us, and join us next week where we discuss Disney's Frozen.
Are we sure that's what's next week?
I am sure, because that is the last of the 2013 films. I was thrown off because the re-release, you don't know when it comes out. It came out before Iron Man 3, but made $1 billion after Iron Man 3. Whose fault is that? Society.
Is that a fault situation?
Shout outs to Max Lismago for the arts. Any shout out
to Stevie Spielberg for making some good movies and some Ready Player One. Shout outs to Laura Dern. It's weird seeing her in like a blockbuster. It's just weird.
It is weird, but we're gonna see her again. She's gonna pop up in The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Even though I haven't actually seen the movie I know her for is Inland Empire.
Repeat that again.
Inland Empire.
Lynch?
Yes. It was the one Lynch movie he made in the 2000s.
When I think of Laura Dern, I think of last year when she had a Marriage Story and Little Women at the same time, and how I'm annoyed that she didn't win her Oscar for Little Women.
Wait, no, I take that back because Lynch also made Mulholland Drive in like 2001. I think it was his first movie he made with digital instead of film.
I see. Shout outs to Sam Jackson. I didn't realize he's in 3 of the largest franchises ever made.
Yeah, I mean he's shout out to your new role in as a T-Rex or whatever dinosaur that was.
I think it was a velociraptor.
Shout out for being a velociraptor. We found it. Listen, you didn't have enough work in this movie before, but as a velociraptor, I know you're gonna kill it.
And that was this week's episode. Please join us next week for Frozen. I'm excited to build some snowmen.
Clever girl. And then she starred in a TV show made by the Sex and the City guy.
I can't tell if I want to call it Emily in Paris or Emily in Paris, because it's so stupid. It's fun, but I don't want to give them that.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the satisfaction. Yeah.